Astrology Collective. Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive. Welcome to Sunday Fun Day. Whoop whoop. We are going to be doing, or just focusing, we're going to do a couple fun readings, focusing more on the fun aspects of life, i.e. love and money, things that we all need, that we all want, that we all hope is going to go well for our lives. So they are collective readings. Make sure to take what resonates, leave the rest behind, and let's get into it. So this specific reading, well, it's relationships in general, but we are going to do relationships where you have no contact. It can be love, but it can also be friendship, family, whatever. Take it how it fits, how it resonates. The astrology has been pretty intense lately. We've had a lot of focus on relationships and partnerships, and it has really been highlighting places where things are disconnected. They need a little TLC. There's some readjustments necessary, etc. And in this process, we're finding out a lot around the people that we're dealing with, right? Whether they want to work with us or not, or how they approach things. Are they open and willing, or do they kind of shut down or force their own agenda, etc.? It's been a little destabilizing, right? Like, we do rely on partnerships. No man is an island. Unfortunately or not, I don't know. But there is just this value, regardless of what we do, we always need relationships to some capacity, right? So when they go awry, it can be really destabilizing or unsettling, or just kind of put us in a place of fear and anxiety and hypotheticals and yada, yada, yada. So that's why I like to start off with these energy cleansings, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any blocks, limitations that we might be coming into. It's also a great time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you have come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, etc. Or if you are just interested in more of a realignment of self, mind, body, soul. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we are in alignment, when we're operating out of that knowledge of self, awareness, etc., that's really what is going to draw our happiness and fulfillment towards us. That's how we manifest abundance, is by being aligned. And self-love, self-care is like the best way to get there. All right. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. I would love to help support in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All right, let's get into it, collective. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly, and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love, Mama Love. All right, so as much as there has been a lot of stress, like I said, it's kind of been weeding out people's situations that really aren't there for our best interest. And as I was looking through the astrology for this upcoming week, we're seeing a lot more favorable transits with Venus. Venus does rule love, obviously love, partnership, relationship. It's also about our relationship with ourselves, how we express and draw in beauty into our life. It's such a beautiful and powerful energy. I'm a lover for sure. But no communication's really hard, right? When we're in no contact, no communication with people that there's loose ends, or, kind of a lot that's left up in the air is what I'm hearing. But we are also seeing some of that stuff start to play out in the collective. There's been a lot of past karmas resurfacing. I'm hearing with this nurse, it's about like, there's been some healing that's happened, right? So there's been some healing in this dynamic, and in a way that it's like ready to move forward. I feel like it's ready to take some of the next steps. Whether or not that means you'll communicate this week is to be determined. We'll see kind of how the tarot plays out, but it feels like things are evolving, and in a way that I think that they need to, you know. I feel like maybe taking a step back from a dynamic that wasn't, not like it, there were things that weren't working out. There were things that like really needed to be addressed, and they just weren't, right? And so I feel like you were dealing with someone who it looks like they used the flirtation, the seduction, the chase as their interest, as their fuel, right? Like kind of this, a little bit of runner chaser vibe, maybe not full fledged, take it as it fits, but it looks like someone who is more in love with the idea of love, or the overwhelming feelings you feel in the beginning, like the honeymoon period, right? When you feel in the beginning of the relationship, but couldn't necessarily like follow through, right? There's this level of commitment that is just lacking in this dynamic, and unfortunately, this is like a part of their shadow. It's a part of their dark side, right? And even if you don't, you know, like I'm not doing this to fearmonger. This is what the cards say. So, you know, but what I'm hearing, and only take if it fits, but like, maybe you didn't even understand like how bad someone's dark side was, or that was kind of that part of them. What I'll say is it's immaturity. It's immaturity because it's someone who's really in love with flirting, seduction, like I said, the beginning phases, but when it actually, you know, comes time to commit, they just can't. It does look like there is some healing around this, or maybe to some capacity you are healing medicine for them. Maybe you're someone who's kind of like brought them out of this cycle, but it's also still very hard for them because of their ways, right? Like it's selfishness. We'll clarify a little bit more. I want to get into the tarot, but it definitely has this feeling of like selfishness. Yeah, it's the way that they manipulate things to like make their life work and function. And so, you know, not all manipulation is bad, right? Like I heard someone say it once. I love this idea. Like we manipulate our hair to make it look a certain way. So there's ways to do it that can be good, but there's also things that when we're using kind of low vibey behavior, it makes it really unpalatable. And I feel like, again, this is a lot about someone's lack of maturity. Not really being experienced in a relationship, or not having the like sense, the common sense, the common awareness to maybe adjust how they're doing things. No shade ever to anyone. I'm just saying what comes up, please no. But you know, what I give them props for is they're thinking about it. They're thinking about you. They're thinking about the dynamic. They're thinking about how this has really played. They don't want to because there's a part of them that really loves this childish energy. There's a part of them that really just wants to feed those like base desires, ego, instinct. What am I trying to say? Like just those kind of like natural instincts. They don't want to work too hard at anything, etc. And it's a lot for you. I don't know, like you have a big heart for this person. I think you feel a lot of things around this. It still is pretty off-putting in a lot of different ways. And for whatever reason, you're still connected to them. I do see like a little bit of a revival, like I said in the very beginning. And this kind of makes sense with how we've been seeing these readings play out, how the astrology is playing out, etc. There is this like, people are starting to get curious, especially if you've been in no contact, especially they want to know what's going on, right, is what I'm seeing. I want to know what's going on, with the collective, how they're doing, where they're at. And I feel like, okay, so in energy healing, when we start to kind of like think about someone, we're starting to connect those like energy energetic cords, so to speak, right? So the more that we do it, the more we become interested, the more we become infatuated. Why I'm saying this is because it's moving towards a conversation or a reconnection on some level. I feel like you're preparing for it. I feel like this is something that is really close to your heart. You also have not necessarily been able to let it go. 100%, this person's making plan of actions. We have Virgo energy, so it does look like they've slowed down. It does look like they've been taking care of themselves. It does look like they're trying to some capacity, but then it's like, we get the Six of Wands. You know, there's so much, and I think that that's where the immaturity is really going to be a disconnect for you in this dynamic, because you're trying to show up authentically, wear your heart on your sleeve, be like healthy about your emotions, etc., how you feel about this person. And I feel like they're the one that's resisting it more. They don't want to hear it. They're lying to themselves, right? I mean, and it's ironic because as I'm saying that, I can feel it's like they know. They actually know. They know more than what they're letting on. They know how they think. They know how they feel about you. But they just can't, I don't know, maybe vulnerability is something that's really hard for them, because they don't really look like they're, even when they do approach you or you do have this conversation, or maybe there is, you know, an omission, a confession of sorts of how they feel or what they think or whatever, it still very much comes with their own benefit, their own gain attached to it. Meaning it's not about you or it's not about the relationship. It's about what they want and pushing their agenda. And that's kind of where, like, I feel like for you, it's a lot, right? Like, you look like you're actually kind of setting the boundaries of just like, okay, well, if you want this, if you want this romantic night, if you want to reconnect, then why don't we start by being friends? Like, why don't we get to know each other? Why don't we kind of just like slow the roll down? And they don't like that. That is something that they're not expecting to hear. They're not really ready for you to have boundaries because they just assume this Six of Wands that you're going to feed into them. Maybe you did feed into them a lot during when you were talking, but I'm hearing this is a lot about like your own healing, how much healing that you have done, like that they're not really expecting, because as much as maybe they've been like off in the background trying to manipulate the situation, you've actually been taking care of your heart and honoring yourself in this way that, like, I really love. I think it's beautiful. It's definitely this vibe of like, I might not be perfect. I might have a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings, but like, I'm going to work with myself to like manage those in a good way, in a beneficial way for me. And yeah, I mean, it does look like this is kind of headed in a certain direction. Obviously, for everyone, there is a to be determined. Everyone has free will. It looks like right now, like I said, like this person is really resisting, but it's almost like they can't help themselves. So even if they're telling themselves in this moment, in this time, no, they have to come out from behind the curtain. I don't even know where that analogy came from, but it's like they can't resist not talking to you because they want to know, you know, they want to know. And yeah, okay, maybe you are kind of a unicorn. I love that. One of a kind, right? Like sometimes we forget, like I don't know, life is crazy and there's so many things that tell us we're not awesome and great and unique and fabulous and all that stuff, right? But there is only one you. There's only one you, and that's what makes you special, and that's what makes like this connection. You know, I honestly feel like this person is too immature. I don't know that they've grown up or that they will grow up enough in time, is how it comes through. And I think you kind of know that. I think you've known that, or you are knowing that as you're going through this cycle. 100% clarity, confirmation that like you're seeing it for what it is, because in order for this to move forward, this person is going to have to let go of their dirty dealings, as well as their resistance, as well as like their refusal to acknowledge their feelings, their emotions for you. Like I said, even when they do, it still comes with strings attached, or it's still about them and their ego and their pride and blah, 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 right? And that's why you're kind of in this place of accepting it for what it is. You can be kind, you can be loving, but you can also be really realistic. And if something is not in alignment with like our life goals, right? Like having a family, having kids, you know, building a home together, building a life together, etc. If someone is constantly resisting, or they only want the highs of the new relationship, and then they leave you behind when it's difficult and hard and whatever, really, it's not going to get you very far. It's only going to keep you looped into that cycle. And I'm a firm believer that, like, you know, whatever, things happen for a reason. I know it's like kind of a ambiguous statement, but this value that, like, you know, there's a reason that it's not working out right now. There's a reason why. There's a reason why you needed to step back and take time to heal yourself and love yourself and honor yourself, because it's actually putting you in alignment with a relationship that you do want, something that is more up your alley, something that you can actually be grateful for. And I almost feel like being grateful for not getting sucked in, roped in too much to this person's BS, or maybe the fact that they are resisting is a blessing, right? The fact that they're kind of holding you off and they don't really want to engage. Yeah, it hurts. It sucks. It's never fun to go through. But it's also a door that's opening for you, because you have really leveled up, or you're in the process of doing that. You're in the process of like loving and refining yourself, and, you know, being something really beautiful and valuable that you know, to offer to a relationship. That's what you bring to the table. And I feel like there's something a little bit better fit. You know, that's not going to resonate for everyone. Don't hate me for saying that. I'd rather just say that, because sometimes we need that, you know, clarity, right? Sometimes we need that perspective. Also, it's what the cards are saying. All right. Blame it on the cards, Deborah. All right. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I'd love to hear. Just say hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all that you bring my way. Know that I'm sending love and blessings back to you.